Hey guys, how's it going? Um, Today's video is actually a very interesting one. This is a method of life that I keep to myself because most people don't really understand it. But if you're watching it, you're most likely open-minded enough to understand this, and I hope this helps you too. This one goes around the topic of selfishness. So so to begin with, we very clearly live in a world with society, with norms, expectations, morality on what's right and what's wrong. You feel me? And lots of people always have something to say about what you should be doing or what the other person should be doing, or the rich people should be donating, or everybody has something to say. Everybody's expecting something. Um, People have all these expectations around behavior and just what people should be doing, right? Now, one thing, if you look at this from like a further out perspective, a lot of the most successful people have a lot of people that don't like them, and they don't necessarily get along with everybody, and not everybody really likes them. Um, and it's actually a pattern if you pay attention. So something that I've done is, instead of like looking at these people and being like, well, like, fuck all these successful people, because they probably did this or they got lucky or whatever. If you look at it in the opposite direction, you're like, what do these people have in common that probably got them to where they are? One of those things I can guarantee you, um, to an extent, because a lot of them are generous, is selfishness. You really got to be selfish, because how do you expect to help other people if you can't really help yourself? You can't provide for anybody if you can't provide for yourself. You can't give anything out. You can't support your family if you can't support yourself. You can't do anything if you can't do it for yourself first. So it's a lot deeper than that. This is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Let's say you're working a job, right? And you're getting paid, let's say $25 an hour, and you're making about $300 to $400 a week, and you're getting your paychecks bi-weekly, right? $800 every 2 weeks. And the first thing you start doing, right, is donating money to your friends for alcohol. So you just go out, they're like, oh, you got the job, bro. Like, just put, pay for this, pay for that. You feel me? Oh, and then your family wants a little bit of help here, they want a little bit of help there, and since they're your family and you care about them, you give them the money, and and then you just become part of this big spider web of people who are very local in your section, pulling your money in all sorts of directions. So you stay in that spot. You're tied. You're tethered now. Like, that's, say hello to your new home. You feel me? Like, you might as well get really comfortable and give your dreams away. Why? Because that's what happens most of the time to people, whether they realize it or not. And this selfish thing that I'm talking about doesn't necessarily mean you got to be a dick to people, but it most certainly doesn't mean you got to, be there to help everybody and support people through their issues, or help fix people's problems. um One of the biggest issues that I think people have with this is, as emotional human beings, we tend to be very empathetic. So we try to help people a lot, be of use per se, or even just feel better about ourselves. So we give, and we try to put other people's needs and wants for ourselves. Sometimes it's shame, sometimes you feel shame from other people. So what you do is, you get that shame, and you try to like combat it with kindness, with selflessness, um just to feel better about yourself. And this goes back to one of my first topics, which was, like, self-love. Like, you got to really be there for yourself. You got to support yourself. Like, but beyond that, right? Let's say that, you're growing in your career, or in your skill, or in your relationship, or something, right? You're growing, you're doing your thing. Then a situation comes up. All right, you want to, your boss wants to promote you, but he wants to promote somebody else at the same time. So he says, look, we can only promote one person at a time. You guys have to choose. So one of two things can really happen. Either both of you guys are gonna be like, ah, it's all right, man. Like, you can go first, because everybody wants to be a people pleaser, right? That's one possibility. The other possibility is you both compete with it, both want it. And then there's that third possibility, which would probably be, you know, um, honestly, there's three, because this third possibility is a very likely one, and I feel like it's one that happens a lot more often as well. Is where one person just directly goes for it, while the other person says, okay, that's fine. Like, I'll have my turn when it comes, right? And it's not to say that any of these possibilities are good or bad. The main point of the situation is this: if it comes down to that, and you put the other person above, and you say, you know what, you can get promoted first. I'll just wait and get promoted later. What you have done right there, right? And what you've done is basically you just said to yourself, this person and their career and their path is more important. I care about them more than I care about my career. And you could frame it any sort of way. You could be like, you know what, like they're my friend, or they're a good coworker. I just want the best for I just want everybody to be happy. Like, all right, but if your goal, and this is if your goal is, your career and to grow in it and to expand, you can't be doing stuff like that. You gotta be there for it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta claim what's yours. And this sounds semi-aggressive, but in reality, that's just what it is. You don't know if there's gonna be another time that you might get promoted. You could fuck up, and the boss might not want to promote you, but you got this opportunity right now in front of your face. You feel me? Um, but that's just one example. Let me give you another one that might correlate to more people. Let's say, let's say you have a big performance due soon, whether it be, you know, like sports, music, you have like a day, who cares? Something big is coming soon. It really matters to you. You've been training for this, you've been preparing for this, right? And then on the other hand, your friends from middle school or high school, they tell you that um this one's going to be a little bit more difficult, right? They tell you that one of the friends that you guys haven't seen for a while, he's not okay. He wants to just have one big last party, so and it just happens to be at the same time that you have your big event. Boom. So now you're stuck in between. Damn, like, do I want to really be there for my friends because they're my friends and they've been there for me forever? Do I want to take this opportunity to really put myself out there, you know what I'm saying, and grow and expand? So you can look at it this way. You can decide to be like, oh, well, these are my friends. And this is my life. And in reality, friends and like connection is one of the only things that really matter to me. So I'm gonna choose this because this is, these friends are more stable than what I can predict about my future. Or you could say, you know what, these friends are nice and cool, but this is an opportunity where I can put myself forward, prove to myself that I'm putting myself first, and also take an opportunity to showcase myself, to put myself up there, put myself out there. You feel me? Um, that's kind of like what I'm talking about right there, right? So let's say you were to take the chance to be with your friends. Cool. You visit your friend, you have a good memory. Once it's all said and done, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Said and done, you got a new memory. Congrats. You probably strengthened the connection with your friends. Congrats. But what you did lose was that opportunity. You lost the opportunity, and you also showed yourself that in the end, what matters to you most is your friends and your connections, and you'd rather be there for your friends than really like see what your potential is and grow. And that's totally fine. There's no issue with that. But this conversation again is for people who are on their way and really dedicated to growing, to expanding themselves, And so let's say you would have taken the other opportunity. What happens is, you do your show, and something, nothing could come out of it. You just did your show and nothing could happen. But you proved to yourself, I put myself first. And your friends might see it as a little bit weird. They might say, oh man, you probably don't care that much. Like, oh, this guy, he's in over his head, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's not personal to them. They could take it personally if they want, but you really just wanted to put yourself out there. You took a bet on yourself. In best case scenario, you get noticed, something happens, you get promoted, you win. Best case scenario, but you're not gonna win out of visiting your friend in this type of situation, right? Um, um, and like I said, this depends. It really is about what you want. But these types of things happen throughout your life consistently. This is how life works. When you are on a path of growth, you're gonna have to face what you want versus your emotions. You're gonna have to face what you're working towards versus random obstacles, family, relationship, whatever. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And it's up to you to really make that choice. And depending on the choices that you make, you're gonna either build or tear down that self-image that you have. And that self-image is really what's gonna end up guiding you to your potential at the end of the day. So really be mindful. I think mindful is the best word to describe this when making decisions selflessly or selfishly, because at the end of the day, like it is your life, it is your life, and depending on how important it is for you to get to where you want to be, or accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, like you really need to consider um what is really going to help build you versus what is going to tear you down. And Manny, I mean, you could say, Manny, it's not that black and white, bro. Like, you could try to make, no, man. Okay, sometimes it is that black and white. Sometimes it really is. And you can either face it or you can't, and that's it. And if you try to live in the middle, you don't get either of them. Why? Because sometimes it's just not like that. Sometimes it's just not. um you can't really get everything. I know a lot of you guys have heard this before. you know in order to get something, you must lose something of equal value. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, we live in a world, we live in a planet where everything is an exchange. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing's free. You don't really get anything for free. You really do have to sacrifice to get somewhere. And that's just the cost of it. That's just what it is. Um Usually by this time in my videos, I explain how this is, a topic in my life. And if I were to be real honest with you guys, I mean, currently one of my main focuses has been my crypto. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I like the process of it. I like learning it. I've lost $2,000 on it in the last like 2 weeks or so. I love it, every single bit of it. And I've done day trading and stuff like that, so I already know how it is. You feel me? Like, I already know how the whole, you don't want to kill yourself, or just put yourself off balance off this. Trust me, I'm not, but I love it. I love the whole everything about it. I sit here and watch my videos about it. My family has been wanting me to go visit them. My friends also, there, one of my friends just bought a house and he wants me to go check it out. He's gonna have like an opening house party. But you gotta realize all my family lives in a different state. They live in Colorado. I live in New York. Um, and it wouldn't really cost me much to go and see them or go and participate in that. You feel me? Like, I have the money to do it. I have the opportunities. I have the time to do it. You know. Um, But I told everybody. I told my mom. I told my friends. I told all of them, like, I can't. I'm not free until November. Why? Because I'm dedicating these next 3 months to myself. And even though I might want to go over there, I really do want to see my friend's new house. I really do want to see my mom. I want to see my brother, my cat, my dad, my sister. These next 3 months are about me and my self growth, and that's just what it is. And you could argue and be like, man, you could take a break, and I don't want to take a break. I don't want to take a break. I want to show myself that I can do this for the next 3 months, so I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's how deep it really gotta be sometimes. And I'm not saying like you have to do the same, but I'm just saying this is how it correlates in my life. I'm not upset about it. I'm not upset about it. I actually quite enjoy it, and I can feel myself just kind of like building with myself. Like, it's like you get in a zone. You feel me? You get in a zone when you cut the distractions. When you really putting yourself first, you get into a zone where, like, it's really just you versus you learning, like, you learning with yourself, you learning against yourself, you just learning, growing. Um, but yeah. This isn't the first time that I've done this too. Like, when I was 18, I remember I did like this 90-day run, saved up money, just to get here to New York, right? And I did it. It worked. I accomplished it. When I created my first business, I also went on like a 80 something day run before I created it, and it was successful. So, like, it's worked before. I don't see why it wouldn't work now. I just got to do the steps. You feel me? I just got to be here for myself. Um, but yeah. Some people might call it selfish. Some people might see it as selfish. They might take it personally. You can't let that get to you. You can't. All right. Because not everybody's going to see your vision. Not everybody's gonna respect your vision, but once your vision is materialized, people are gonna be wondering how you did it. And the people hating are gonna say that you cheated. They're gonna say that. So it doesn't matter. All right. If people support you, they support you. If they don't support you, they're never gonna support you. You feel me? So you might as well just be selfish and get yours. That's just kind of like the main point here. Um, but yeah, if you ever need any advice, any help, you people hit me up. I help them. I can help you grow. I can help anything. You feel me? But what we do here, it's straight serious. I really like to help people build. I like the potential that people have, especially when they have the passion and energy for it. So if you do want to schedule a chat or something, my Instagram is Emmanuel.lvx. That's Emmanuel with two M's .lvx. Um, and then there's more details about me in the description. Hope you guys have a great day, night, afternoon, whatever it is, and see you guys in the next one.